What's up, guys? It's your boys Wokey back with another Chris Watts type video. And today I was on the fence about making this video just because it is with Bella and Celeste Watts. These little beautiful girls did not deserve what had coming to them. They deserve to be here to this day. And you guys have, I posted a video yesterday about Shanann with her autopsy results. And you guys definitely, I got teary eyed when it came to Nichol. You guys have definitely been very sincere and respectful and commenting nothing but positive, which I definitely do appreciate. I haven't seen any negative comments, which I thank you so very much. I was definitely, again, like I said, on the teeter-totter about making this video with Bella and Celeste, but it definitely does need to be brought to attention because there are some people out there that like believe that Chris is innocent. Um, and I just don't think he's innocent. I don't think he was alone. But this needs to be brought to light because there are people that think he's completely innocent to the point where they're like, "Oh, you don't deserve this. You don't deserve this." That we're about to hear is going to make you hate Chris more than you even hated him before. It's going to make you hate Nichol. There are people out there that still think that Nichol was not involved in some shape or form. And I can't believe that people still think that she's can get away scot-free. So with that being said, before we go into this video, which I'm definitely scared because I am very emotional right now. I don't know why. It's been a rough day. But I'm hoping I don't cry because Bella and Celeste were very beautiful little girls and definitely deserve to. I'm already getting there. Deserve to be alive today and grow up to have their own families and to get married, to have kids of their own, and they're not going to get that chance. But with that being said, which if you guys can do me a solid favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel for all the things that we've been talking about when it comes to crime, paranormal, all things nerdy. I can't thank you guys enough for the love and support you guys have been showing on this channel by hitting that white bar icon down at that bottom right. It means so much when you guys do that because this channel is exploded over the course of the past 4 or 5 months, and it's all because of you guys, and I can't thank you guys enough. So if you guys are watching this video, make sure you guys consider subscribing. We're trying to get to 50,000 subscribers so I can give one of you guys a MetaQuest 3 virtual reality headset for free. And when we get to 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away 2 more. So why not subscribe? It's free to do, it's easy to do, and somebody's going to be able to get some free gear. So with that being said, let's get into the video. We're going to be watching the Autopsy podcast. If you guys want to listen to this guy, I mean, this guy sounds very educated, very on point, definitely knows his stuff. This man has been like on it when it comes to the autopsies. I listened to Shanann's, I listened to a couple other ones he had, and I was like, I'm subscribing. So definitely check out his channel. Link will be down in the description for the Autopsy podcast. He is on iTunes, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Audible. Check him out. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
A single barrel of crude oil holds approximately 42 gallons. Crude oil itself varies in consistency and viscosity, depending on where it is found and what other elements it is found near. And so without any proper assessment, one can never be quite sure what all elements they're dealing with, other than the oil itself and likely some varying amounts of water. And to most of us, it simply appears as a deeply dark sludge. Once again, we are back at Anadarko Worksite, Survey 319, in rural Weld County, Colorado. The deceased body of Shanann Watts has been discovered in a shallow grave, approximately 100 yards from the worksite. She is pronounced dead on scene 5 minutes after midnight on August 16, 2018. But search crews are only getting started. They have been tipped off to this location by husband Chris Watts, and Mrs. Watts is the easy find in this case. Her daughters, Bella and Celeste Watts, though close by, will require more substantial measures for extraction.
I don't know why you put him in there.
Survey 319 contains 2 large crude oil storage tanks, approximately 20 feet in height and able to hold approximately 400 barrels, or 16,800 gallons of the dark sludge. At the top of each tank, there is a round hatch approximately 8 inches in diameter. On the date the search has begun, Mr. Watts has admitted to stuffing the deceased bodies of Bella, age 4, into one tank, and Celeste, age 3, into the other. And so efforts are now underway to drain both tanks and recover the bodies, and most of the day is spent working towards this goal. Younger sister Celeste will be the first to be removed, and she is officially pronounced dead on scene at 3:40 p.m. on August 16th. 2 hours later, older sister Bella is finally extracted and is pronounced at 5:50 p.m. Mr. Watts maintains at this point that he did not murder his daughters, that it was Mrs. Watts who did it out of defiance of their failing marriage, and in a rage, Mr. Watts then murdered her. But as we learned previously, he has proven himself to be highly unreliable. And now the conclusion of the Watts family murders. I'm your friendly death investigator. Let's do some autopsies. For Bella and Celeste, we're going to do things a little differently. With few exceptions, the examinations of both girls are largely the same.
I do want to let you guys know before we go any farther, for those that cannot deal with this type of listening and grotesque description that we're about to hear, I just want to make this very clear. This is for educational and respectful viewing. If you cannot handle this, I suggest you not watch this video unless you can handle it. We're going to watch it together. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to handle this, but I'm doing it just because I want to know exactly what was found with Bella and CeCe. I'm never going to show anything. I've seen some pictures. I don't know if they're legit real or not. Definitely made me cry. I don't know if it's true or not. But if you have a weak stomach or cannot take any of this, I suggest you not watch this video. And with that being said, let's continue.
No surprise given how they were both discovered in near identical circumstances. As always, we'll begin with the external examination and first go over the ways in which the girls' exams are similar. Then we'll move on to how they differ. And likewise, we'll continue this with the internal portion as well. But first, if you'll indulge, a moment of levity. District Attorney disclaimer. At 10:10 hours on August 17, 2018, the representative from the District Attorney's Office read a portion of an email which he received from the Public Defender's Office. In this email, the Public Defender has requested that we swab the necks of the children for residual trace DNA. According to him and his expert DNA witness, they anticipate trace DNA being preserved on the neck structures of the children, despite being confined in a container of oil, water, and associated sludge matter over the course of 4 days.
4 days.
This is something you rarely see in an autopsy report, and, at least in my opinion, is a masterclass in how to professionally throw shade. Essentially, during the time the pathologist was performing his duty, the district attorney received an email from the public defender, that is Chris Watts' lawyer, requesting that the pathologist swab the neck of both girls for residual DNA during autopsy, which the defender claims an expert DNA witness can use, likely to try and refute possible allegations. And if you want to know what the pathologist thinks about the validity of such a claim, well, I'll read you the last sentence one more time.
He didn't do this. He did this.
According to him and his expert DNA witness, they anticipate trace DNA being preserved on the neck structures of the children, despite being confined in a container of oil, water, and associated sludge matter over the course of 4 days.
Just wondering, why would they do the neck when Chris stated the way he did it after he said it wasn't Shanann? Is he did this? So that definitely makes me very peculiar on that description.
If I'm reading between the lines correctly, and I'm quite certain that I am, this essentially equates to I'm being asked to do a thing, and I'm doing it, but I'm only doing it because I'm being asked, not because I believe in this utter nonsense. And because the man is a professional, he does as he is asked, and takes the swabs. So hats off to you, Doc. And to you folks listening, when you finish this episode, if you ever go back and listen again, hopefully you'll find it just as amusing as I did. It's rare but always welcome to get little pieces of gold like this in a report. Thank you for indulging me. Now, back to the girls. Bella's exam begins first at 1:30 p.m. on August 17th. Celeste's begins at 5:30 p.m. the same date. Both girls are clad in their pajamas. The bodies and clothing are still soaked in oil. The bodies are carefully washed, and both are noted as decomposing with bloating, marbling of the skin, as well as skin slippage. Their faces present essentially the same findings. We mentioned in Mother Shanann's case about how doctors searched for petechiae, and also how none was found during her exam. The same goes for Bella and Celeste, with no petechiae findings in or around the eyes or mouth. However, older sister Bella does have significant findings in her mouth, which we'll get to in just a bit. We have mostly negative findings. No markings on either of their necks, nothing on their chests, abdomens, or backs. Decomposition could be a contributing factor for this. Both girls are small, but keep in mind their bodies were forced through fairly small hatches, which could have left possible superficial abrasions. Those sort of things can fade fairly quickly with decomposition, which takes in many factors. Shanann was in a shallow grave, exposed to more general elements, but the girls being left in the tanks of crude oil mixed with who knows what else, it's a whole other set of factors. Which leads us to the first of the girls' differing findings. While both had a fair amount of skin slippage, younger sister Celeste's hands were, quote, slawed off during the recovery process, unquote. This is something that could also be referred to as degloving. When you think of skin slippage, the term is very on the nose. It is quite literally the top layer of skin slipping off almost as if shedding. And sometimes, when it comes to the hands of a victim, it all comes off, like a glove. This glove is, as mentioned, the top layer of skin, which usually includes the fingerprints and, in this case, the fingernails as well. And this seems to be what the doctor is referring to in this case. Also of note, back to negative findings, both girls' hands and fingernails were checked for possible defensive wounds, and none were found. Fingernails were intact and, though dirty, in otherwise good condition. And now, the most significant deviation of findings. For older sister Bella. The oral cavity contains natural dentition in good repair. The frenulum is markedly disrupted, and there are adjacent pink-purple bruises of the buccal mucosa present. There are also teeth impressions and superficial bite marks on the mucosal surface of the tongue.
Bitter tongue.
And here, constant listeners, is what we will call a jackpot of evidence of smothering. The frenulum is that small piece of skin in the center of your mouth that connects your inner lips to your gum lines. It can be torn, or as it is noted here, disrupted, by blunt force trauma, and likely in this case by a fair amount of pressure against the face and mouth area. This is corroborated by the bruising on the buccal mucosa, which itself is the inner lip. There also has to be some level of resistance from the victim, who isn't simply allowing themselves to be smothered.
So she was trying to fight.
And young Bella resisted. The teeth and bite marks on her tongue corroborate that as well.
But he's innocent. Nichole's innocent. Yeah, okay.
The internal examinations for Bella and Celeste are almost identical in terms of findings. Bella had noted Tardieu spots on her inner scalp, which is just an artifact of decomposition, not any kind of trauma. Celeste's stomach is noted as empty, while Bella's contains approximately 75 milliliters of dark fluid that is likely crude oil sludge. Otherwise, both girls present identical negative findings. No trauma to the brains, their necks are free of injury, heart and lungs are in good working order. The same goes for the spleens and livers and kidneys and everything else.
They're perfect little girls.
2 perfectly fine and healthy little girls.
And he took them away. Or somebody did.
As noted, both girls' autopsies showed very similar findings, with Bella's being most significant in terms of evidence. Celeste, in actuality, had complete negative findings. No trauma externally or internally. I mention this because both girls will have the same cause and manner of death, and so the question might get asked, if Celeste had no significant findings, how can she scientifically be given a specific cause and manner?
Because one fought.
We mention
maybe.
negative findings because they can be just as important as positive ones. We mentioned back in Russell Derman's examination about the confidence a pathologist must sometimes use when following their evidence. The same applies here to not just evidence or lack thereof, but also circumstance. The girls are only a year apart in age, and their height and weight is roughly the same. They have
loved
no
each other.
underlying illnesses or issues, and their bodies were disposed of in identical ways. So while Bella does show positive signs of smothering and Celeste does not, Celeste also does not have any other evidence that could suggest another form of death, which is to say there is no reason to believe she didn't suffer the same fate. Of course, in his opinion section for cause and manner for Celeste, unlike Bella, the doctor uses the qualifying term, likely. Cause of death for Bella Watts: asphyxiation due to smothering. Manner: homicide. Likely cause of death for Celeste Watts: asphyxiation due to smothering. Manner: homicide. Report date for both cases: September 27, 2018. Signed, Michael A. Burson, MD.
I just want to put this out there for those that still believe that Chris is innocent, including his parents. If he didn't kill his children, he allowed it to happen. He didn't stop it. He didn't go away from it. He let his little girls be smothered if he didn't do it by his own hand. Let them feel like they could be protected by this man. Their father was supposed to be the protector, like the love of their life, until they found the man in their life that was going to take over once they found somebody to marry. But yet they had every confidence and every love and truth in this man, and he yanked it away by either one, smothering them himself, or let that happen by somebody else's hand. And to the point where they were in there so long, I mean, it was only 4 days. I shouldn't say only 4 days. In those 4 days, they lost their fingerprints, their skin, their texture, their identity. They had to be put in caskets and sealed properly because of bloating. The grandparents, the Ruseks, didn't get to see them when they should have been able to. But then there's people out there that are sending love letters and fan mail to Chris stating he's got this, Team Chris. How is this okay? And yet people think I'm doing this because I'm bored, because I have nothing else to do. I'm doing this because these girls deserve justice. Shanann deserves justice. Nichol deserves justice. Bella, Celeste, they deserve justice. And with Chris still being here on this earth and Nichol being free, her cries and her whining and all that stuff and her interrogation and interview that she says, oh, those poor little girls, you didn't see none of that. I'm showing more emotion than she did, and I didn't even know these little girls. She caused this. I want to put that in perspective for somebody that might be watching that think it's okay for Chris to be still here. I was hoping that he was going to get put on the death penalty. Because right now what he's doing is he's soaking up resources. He's soaking up free healthcare, free food, and free everything. I don't know if you guys are pro death penalty or not. But for me, in this case, Chris deserved the death penalty. He didn't deserve to sit in a prison for the rest of his life. He deserved to go and have a special place in hell. I'm sorry, but for him to do this because he wanted to start a new life with his mistress, it's not okay for me. I'm a father of 3 myself, and I would never, ever take my kids away from this earth. I'm put here to make sure that they're taken care of, that they grow up in the right way, that they are protected, safe, loved. And it bothers me. And then for people to go in my comments and sit there and say that I'm bored, I have nothing better to do, that get over it, it's upsetting. Because I do this because I want justice for these little girls. They didn't deserve this. Or Nico, he didn't even get a chance to live. What did he do wrong? What did any of them do wrong? What, Shanann wanted to save her marriage? What, she was a more independent woman? And because of that, some people think that she was the narcissist and that she was the monster? Because she forced Chris to do this? To go off? I mean, no one's perfect, don't get me wrong. But I guarantee that Bella and Celeste did nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. Shanann, I don't see her doing anything wrong. But like I said before, she was an independent woman. She knew what she wanted. She did what she wanted. But that constitute him taking her away? They could have got a divorce. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you, I wouldn't say enjoyed my reaction, but understand my determination and my justice for wanting to do these kind of videos. This case itself has, I wouldn't say consumed me, but has made me so determined in getting the right answers and to find the right direction and getting this 100% solved. And it's not 100% solved. There's people on TikTok that think that NK is completely free and dry, and it makes no sense. But comment what you guys think down below. If you guys are new here, let me know what you guys think when it comes to Bella and Celeste. Do you think it was Chris or do you think it was somebody else? I still to this day don't think it was Chris. I don't think he had the balls to do it with the girls. I think it was somebody else. There's been footprints that have been found out there that are not Chris's. Multiple footprints over by the dig site. I still don't understand why he put them in the tanks. Why didn't he bury them with their mother? What was the tank's involvement with the batteries, as they call it, with the crude oil inside? It's just putting these sweet little innocent girls in there for 4 days. It's just, he should get done to him what he did to these four. Tell me I'm wrong. I mean, am I wrong to say that? Because it's not right or not fair. And yet he sits there and reads to them in his cell, to the pictures. He has pictures of them. I don't think he deserves those. He did this to them. He doesn't deserve it. He deserves white walls, concrete floor, steel bed, a green blanket, and that's it. That's all he should deserve. But again, I thank you guys for watching. I'm sorry I'm emotional. I'm an emotional person. But please take care of each other. Keep safe. Love each other, because you never know when is your last day. And please take care, and we'll see you guys next time. So keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys on the next video.